Hello and welcome to week 3 of classroom assessment. Thank you for completing your discussions last week. If for some reason you didn't have a chance to post, you can email me your response and I can give you late points for that. You won't be able to post any replies to classmates, but at least you can do the first part of it. So you had a chance to read through chapters 1 and 2 and learn a little bit about assessment and what we're going to be learning about in the course. One thing I did want to say, I will get your discussions graded and posted here in the next couple of days, but make sure that when you're using information from the text or from a supplemental reading, that you are sure not to put direct quotes. It's more important that you paraphrasing information to let me know that you understand it. So rather than using direct quotes, just be sure to put it into your own words instead. So if you would, just do that on future assignments. Also, if you lost points, be sure to read the comments about why. We will have another discussion later in the semester, and that should help you. So this week we're going to be moving ahead to chapter 6. So it's a little bit different, but we're going to skip over reliability and validity and fairness and cover that after we talk about the different types of assessments. So one thing to keep in mind, starting chapter 6, so at the very end, and I'll go back here, at the very end of chapter 10, you're going to be completing an assessment portfolio, and that's actually due in week 7. But it's important to keep in mind and kind of start thinking about it. So what you're doing for this assignment is you're going to select a particular grade level or subject area, and you're going to demonstrate using the TEKS different types of assessments. So, one thing you're going to be doing is creating 2 selected response assessments. So I would recommend after you cover each chapter, so this week we're talking about chapter 6, next week is 7, and then 8 and 9, that after we've covered that, you go ahead and build the first part of your portfolio. Again, this is worth a large part of your grade, so it's good to kind of work ahead on it. But you can go ahead and read through this. Again, it's in week 7 is where this is located because that's the week that it's due. But go ahead and start kind of thinking about that. So going back to week 3, where we are right now, you're going to be sure to watch the video lecture, and then here's the notes that go along with it. We don't have an assignment due this week over chapter 6. You will be having a quiz next week that covers chapters 6 and 7. So most importantly, this week, make sure that you have read through and understand the guidelines. A lot of students tend to gloss over this chapter because you're pretty familiar with true, false, multiple choice. But there's a lot of rules and guidelines, things to avoid, things to include that you need to be sure to look at, because next week you have a quiz. And you need to be sure to go through these pages 152 to 168, which are part of this chapter 6, because that's what you're going to need to complete the quiz. So next week I'll be showing you items, and you're going to have to tell me whether those items are violating the guidelines or not. So just be sure that you carefully go through that part in chapter 6. So if you have any questions about this week or the portfolio coming up, please reach out either through email or post in the class discussion board. Thanks and have a great week.